Hello, this is Michelle from Butterfly Survivors Tribe and Knowing Heart Tarot again. How you doing? So this is going to be part 2 of the video that I just did. I'm not a huge fan of card videos, but sometimes when you need quiet and, no distractions, it's really good. It's very helpful for that. All right, so I'm going to use the same deck as I did last time about the law of attraction. And the other oracle deck that I pulled from is Heal Yourself reading cards, and one from my Rider-Waite tarot deck, mini tarot deck. So I'm going to start with the first one I pulled, and that is Ambition. And I'll read the message to you. I am ambitious, and I do not procrastinate or waste time being negative. Yeah, I have such a wonderful opinion about just thinking positively. It works. It really works. I've done it for most of my life and tried to stay away from negative people and negative things and things that make me think of bad memories or sadness. It's so important about the crowd that you hang around with, the people that you allow to be in your energy around you, right? Controlling your environment is really, really important. And a lot of times, a lot of us couldn't do that when we were kids, but when you're an adult, you have choices. And you make those choices and you make those decisions. Hopefully you don't have anybody telling you what to do, but we all want to make everyone else happy. But it's also about making you happy and knowing what makes you happy and doing that for sure, and making sure that you get enough peace to be positive, because when there's a lot going on, you're flustered, you're always busy, you're stressed, it's hard to find the positivity in life. But if you realize when you need to fit in self-care, just realizing that you need self-care is really half the battle. And then finding time to meditate, be alone, have time with yourself, and then know when it's time to hang out with others. It's so amazing just to find out, to be aware enough to know what you need and then do it, and then be able to create that peace for yourself. And then when you're in peace, you can definitely be positive. It's easier to stay away from the negativity. Which brings me to the second card I pulled, the Ten of Wands. So tens in tarot is about endings, or fulfillment, right? So when you have the Ten of Wands, basically it's the ending to heavy burdens in your life. And when there's an ending, there's room for a new beginning. So yeah, the Ten of Wands is someone being overburdened with responsibility, tired, exhausted. So like I was saying earlier, it's worth $1 million to find that peace, find that time for yourself. Even if it's when you first wake up in the morning, that 10 minutes of meditation to start your day off right, before you go to work, realize what you need and fit it in your schedule. It's the best I can say for that. And then the third card that I pulled is from Heal Yourself Oracle Reading Cards. And it says, discover your life purpose. So it might take you to your 40s, 30s, 40s, even 50s to discover what your life purpose is. But if you go within enough and you find out what your talents and desires and what brings you peace and happiness, and you're able to share that with the world, like I'm doing right now, I have found my purpose. I can really say at 45 years old that I have found my purpose. Even if it's just being kind to somebody, even if it's just smiling and saying, hey, I hope you have a really nice day, in passing. Just all of that kindness and the sweet things that you say and the choices that you make that are positive rather than negative can make a huge difference in your overall well-being, your overall happiness, wellness, your emotional state. It's really good for your mental state and just keeping in that positive mind frame. And so, yeah, I'm going to call this part B to the video that I just did. But basically, I love tarot. I love oracle decks. And I love sharing my experience, strength, and hope. And I love just being able to be here with you and talk about the things that I've done and the things that I continue to do in order to make, peace and happiness and bring joy in my life. A lot of us now around the holidays are visiting with family, and sometimes it's not easy to be around family. But if you look at all the positive and you enjoy their company and you do your best to stay positive and not be negative and try not to criticize and just enjoy that you have your family with you, is something really, really major, because as we age, more of our family, passes away. And it's sad, but we learn to be grateful for the time that we had with them. And that's definitely how I feel about my grandma. That's how I feel about my mom. And I'm still lucky enough to have my uncles with me. I'm definitely not talking about the monster, although he's still alive. Yeah, no. I'm talking about the family that loves me, supported me, and still continues to support me, and, every way, emotionally, mentally, and keeps my mind straight, and, reminds me that they have compassion for me. And that's why I wanted to mention that letter that my uncle wrote, my mom's youngest brother. It's on Butterfly Survivors Tribe. And if you read that letter, it's such an amazing letter. I don't know how my uncle knew exactly what to say at that time in my life that he, needed to say that for me. But it made me so much happier. It made me have so much of a more healthy perspective. So please go to Butterfly Survivors Tribe on Facebook, on my page, and go to towards the beginning of the page, and that letter is there, front and back. And I believe I even have a reel of it as well. And then you can pause the reel and just read that letter. And that just brought me so much peace and happiness, and it made the past easier for me to accept. And it made me put myself in the right mindset of staying in the present, not living in the past, getting the therapy and the help that I needed, moving forward and trying to make the best of today, the present moment. And, that letter really transcends time. And there's a song from Pink Floyd called Time. And, many of you may know when the shotgun and 10 years have gone behind you and no one told you when the starting gun. Boy, that's so true. So do your best to enjoy the time and the people and the family that you have left, and enjoy all that life has to offer you. Whether it's free, whether you got a budget and it costs money to do the things you love, or if it's just taking a walk, getting out and getting some exercise, or if it's just going to church, or whatever makes you happy, whatever brings you joy, do it. Make time for it. You're worth it. So I hope you enjoyed what I've been talking about. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that it can resonate with you. And I hope this finds a special place in your heart. Thank you so much. Bye. Michelle from Butterfly Survivors Tribe and Knowing Heart Tarot signing off. Take care, everybody. Until next time. Until next video. Take care. Bye.